Freddie, freeze! Don't move a muscle. Keep your eyes straight ahead. This is the secret 003 Macho Man. Time has come to plug you, dirty rat. Now turn around very slowly.
Hi, Freddie. This is all arranged so that I could say to the comedian who battled his way right back from the very edge of disaster, tonight, Freddie Starr, this is your life.
Oh, my God. You and you. Oh, God.
It's quite a story we have right back at the theater, okay?
Sure. Oh.
Well, there's a welcome for you, Freddie. We got the great man himself on the wrong foot there with a great opening, and my thanks, of course, right away to Sarah Green. And, of course, your pal, tough guy, Bodie of the professionals, Lewis Collins. You frightened the life out of him back there, and me as well, I might add.
Yes, well, you see, Freddie, as we know, has a natural aversion to tranquility. In fact, once I was in a restaurant, a golf club restaurant, which I think you may remember, and I was trying to be suave and sophisticated with a film producer, and suddenly a bread roll bounced off my head, you know, and I looked across, and of course, there was Freddie. I can't tell you what happened next, but I ended up with a plate of spaghetti in my face. And I've always vowed to avenge you in public by putting green slime down his trousers. I just happened to have... Should I do it?
Let him off tonight. Thank you, Lewis Collins. Freddie, yours is the story of a tremendous talent which climbed to the top, then in drugged despair, plummeted to the bottom, but now you're at the top again. And Freddie, always at your side, encouraging your recovery, inspiring your fight back, has been the former dancer you married 10 years ago, and here, of course, tonight, your wife, Sandy. Yes, you thought she was at home, but Sandy, you're not here by yourself.
No, Daddy, I'm here too.
Yes, your 8-year-old daughter, Donna.
Thank you.
There you are, Donna. And Freddie, Donna's been telling us how you make her laugh at home. Donna, what does he get up to?
He does the robot.
A robot? What does he do? Show me. Very good. Well, now, Freddie, when you were Donna's age, life was pretty tough for you, as your father, an often out-of-work bricklayer, struggled to provide for a family of 7. Now, sadly, he died when you were a teenager. But here tonight from Liverpool, your mother, Hilda, and with your stepfather, Jack, your brother, Richard, your sisters, Hilda and Brenda, and Brenda's husband, John.
Oh, yes. Right. Thank you. Hi, John.
Freddie, you have another sister who, as you know, had to go into hospital for an operation this week, but just a short while ago we talked to Joan in the hospital, and she's coming along fine and sends you her love.
Hello, Freddie. Joan here. I've just had a major operation, but I feel marvellous now. And I'm awfully sorry I can't be with you. But best of luck anyway on your night. Bye-bye now. And bye, Sandy.
And there's somebody else missing from this family reunion, but on that screen, he's going to say hello to his dad right now. And I hope another star in the Starr family, your 3-year-old son, Jody.
Hello, Daddy. I've got a suit on like yours.
Thank you, Jody Starr. Hey, Jody, following in the footsteps of a famous father. A poor lad from Liverpool, you, who through hard work and a unique talent for mimicry, comedy and singing went right to the top of show business like this.
We have now on top of the pops, the fabulous Mr. Tom Jones. It's not unusual to be loved when you want.
Excuse me, love, you didn't see anything roll up the stairs and then...
Darling, I have to write to say that I won't be lonely anymore, cause something happened to me while I was driving home and I'm not the same anymore, cause I was lonely 24 hours and outside. Lonely, wanting to hear it from your heart. I hate to do this to you. I miss somebody new. What could I do?
That was no money.
Well, Freddie Starr, this is your life, and you were born in Huyton, Liverpool on January 9th, 1943. Here's your very first impersonation of a bouncing 4-month-old baby. You were christened Frederick Leslie Fowle, Fowle being the family name. You changed your name at the start of your career in show business, but not only because you liked the starry sound of Starr, right?
Right.
Why did you change it then?
I don't know, really. It was just one of those things that...
Fair enough. After school, Freddie at Sylvester's Primary, then Huyton Secondary Modern, young Freddie Starr hurried to his home in Brookwood Road, where Brenda, when you two played together, he'd create a world of make-believe.
Yes, Eamon used to love horses. We were so poor, my mum and dad couldn't buy him a horse. So he used to come home and make a mini Grand National. And he'd have the horse jumping over the fences.
Well, what was the horse?
I'm sorry, the horse, I mean the dog.
The horse was a dog, yeah. And one day, Hilda, young Freddie saw a horse straying on the road outside your house.
Yes, it was a horse, Eamon.
Straight from the stables nearby. Uh-huh.
Yes.
And right now, Freddie, we're taking you back to Brookwood Road, Huyton, to hear what happened next from two school day pals of yours, Jimmy Geary and Laurie Gabriel.
Hello, Fred. Remember the day when you found a horse? Something like this one, straying in a field. So you decided to bring it home. You were only about 12 at the time. You could just about reach the reins. Or we suppose that's what you were reaching for anyway.
And you tried to make it warm, so you've brought it into the home. Come on.
Into the hall. Along to your mum's kitchen.
We wouldn't run away. You tied him to the door handle with one of your stockings.
But you still didn't think he'd be warm enough. So you had another good idea.
And this was the side that met your mother when she came through the back door.
She must have thought she was going to jump over Beecher's Brook when she seen this. Anyway, Freddie, here's one thing straight from the horse's mouth. We'll both be down to London to see you.
Yes, they're here, those school day pals of 30 years ago, Laurie Gabriel and Jimmy Geary.
You pair of nutters.
Hilda, it must have been a shock to find that horse in your kitchen, was it?
It was a shock.
Yeah. But of course now, by the age of 13, Freddie was already a clever mimic, wasn't he?
Yes.
Did that worry you?
Yes, the only time I was worried, Eamon, is that I went anywhere visiting in case he made a slip up, you know, mimicking people.
In October?
Mimicking people. Mimicking. Mimicking people.
In October 1957, Freddie, your mum sees a newspaper advertisement that famous talent spotter, the late Carol Levis, is auditioning for young entertainers. She takes you along to the hall where you announce that you're going to sing, tell the pianist the name of the song, and take up your position by the piano.
But, Freddie, I must confess I thought I wouldn't be able to play for laughing.
Yes, the accompanist of that audition 27 years ago and founder of Young People's Road Show you later joined, Hilda Fallon. Hilda, you say you could hardly play for laughing. Young Freddie was that funny at the audition?
Well, he was only 13 at the time, wearing a long pair of trousers. You couldn't see his feet. He looked hilarious. See? You couldn't see his feet. I barely fell off the stool.
She nearly fell off the stool, but that gave somebody else an idea.
Yes, me. I thought, what a great partner you'd make.
Yes, you became partners and pals 28 years ago. Here tonight, Hilda's brother, Johnny Fallon. Johnny, his double act with you was the start of one of his later-to-be-famous characters, wasn't it?
That's correct.
What was that?
Well, he used to call himself Freddie the Teddy.
Freddie the Teddy.
How you doing, Scomhead?
Thank you, Johnny and Hilda Fallon. Well, Hilda, although Carol Levis couldn't find a place for Freddie in a show, he did tell him about a film company who are auditioning in Liverpool for talented youngsters. And Freddie got a job on the spot, the film Violent Playground, and here you are, about to walk into a load of trouble.
Johnny, you should have seen that by the fire, Johnny.
Who's the...
Johnny, you're the firefly boy.
Kick him.
Stop him, Johnny, stop him.
Who's the firefly?
I wouldn't say, Johnny, not to anyone else.
Kick him.
Honest, Johnny, I wouldn't.
Who's the firefly?
I don't know.
Who said kick him?
But I thought you...
You can't think.
Johnny.
Wipe your nose.
The young actor firing the questions you there was quite a little tough guy.
Right.
He went to live in America 23 years ago and was later to become internationally famous as Ilya Kuryatkin and the Man from U.N.C.L.E.
That's right.
And tonight he's the man from New York because we've flown him from there, David McCallum. David, that was 27 years ago. Your memory of Freddie as a 13-year-old.
Oh, I always remember the cheeky Liverpool kid. He was the one that was always smiling. He was always trying to please everybody. He was, no matter what you did to him, if you kicked him, whatever, he just came right back. No wonder he went on to make so many people laugh. Although I understand his career hasn't exactly been all laughs. But it's just wonderful to see you again.
Thank you, David.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, David McCallum. And when you leave school, you take a job at an engineering works. You then work for just over a year at Camelaird Shipyard, Birkenhead. You also find work singing in nightclubs. At the age of just 18, you make two important decisions, to marry and to try for a full-time career in show business. But setbacks follow. Though you have a son, your first marriage is destined to fail after a few years, and after only 15 months, the pop group you'd formed breaks up. Now, wondering where your future lies, you decided to visit an aspiring young Liverpool actor pal who'd gone to London to try his luck. You telephone at his tiny Kilburn flat.
Hello? That you, Fred? Certainly you can have a kip for the night.
For 10 years, he was Eddie Yates in Coronation Street, the man who gave you a roof over your head 20 years ago, Jeff Hughes. So, Freddie came down to London and stayed the night with you?
Yeah, he stayed that night, and the next night, and the next night after that, and then for about 150 nights. But it was never dull with him around, you know, because he was always cracking jokes and his humour's brilliant. I mean, it was marvellous. I mean, we were all up against it in those days, but as you can see, we didn't starve.
Thank you, Jeff Hughes.
Thank you.
In 1963, you changed your name and your fortunes. The song and comedy group Freddie, Starr and the Delmonts wins Opportunity Knocks 5 consecutive times. With the Delmonts, you played clubs throughout this country and the Middle East, but after 6 years, you all felt that the constant touring had become too much and you mutually agreed to split up. Now, Freddie, you've been able to keep in touch with one of your pals in that group because he still lives in your native city of Liverpool, and from there he's here tonight, Alan Davis.
Hello, Alan.
And Freddie, we traced one other to his home in Bilgola Plateau, Newport, New South Wales, and we've flown him from Australia to be reunited with you after 13 years, Terry Lappin. Terry, you've got a message from the third Delmont, your brother Kevin.
Yeah, he's sorry he can't be here tonight, but he wondered if you remembered the time when we were in Aden at the Rock Hotel.
Yeah.
And we all had these coconuts, you see. And you couldn't get the husk off yours, remember?
That's right, yeah.
And all the Arabs used to sleep under these tin roofs and all that, and Freddie just got impatient, threw his coconuts out the window, screamed at the top of his voice, and the bloody coconut was bouncing off these tin roofs. And all these Arabs picked up their beds and ran like hell down the street.
Thank you, Terry Lappin and Alan Davis.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Alan.
Freddie, after the breakup of the Delmonts, you try your luck as a solo performer, and with your unique style of mimicry, clowning and singing, you soon click with the theatre and club audiences. And in 1970, right out of the blue, you're chosen for a spot on the Royal Variety Performance. The unknown Freddie Starr gets a standing ovation, and you're on the way to the top. In 1971, you're one of the stars of Who Do You Do? And 3 years later, on April 27, 1974, you and Sandy, whom you had met when she was a dancer in one of your shows, are married. By 1978, Freddie, your punishing work schedule had you under tremendous pressure. You sought relief by taking tranquilizers, but far too many. Now, Sandy, your marriage must have been pushed to the limit when Freddie became addicted.
Yes, but the person that suffered the most in all this was Freddie. It was him.
Ah, Freddie, we know, in fact, how close that addiction came to ending not only your career, but your life, yeah?
Yes.
I mean, you thought about...
Yeah, I did think about the other alternative, yeah.
Now, I said before we met tonight that when you hit troubled times and you were written off by many people, your real friends stood by you. And right now, we're taking you to Copacabana Beach, Rio de Janeiro, to hear from a special friend on holiday there who used to spend his winters in his hometown of Oldham until he found fame.
Hello, Fred. You don't know who this is, do you? It's me. Well,
Bobby
I'm
Ball,
here, Freddie,
yes.
in Rio de Janeiro. The sounds, Sugarloaf Mountain, people. But I'm not happy, Fred. I'm not happy. There's nobody recognised me yet. I'm filling up, Freddie. I wish I could be with you, Fred, in all that rain. But I'm here. I'm stuck here. But I want to tell you something, Fred. A short while ago, you were working at the Shaftesbury Theatre, and I've known you a long, long time. And I came to see you, and you're having a very bad time, you're very down. And a lot of people in showbiz were knocking you then, but they overlooked your talent. And I just want to say, Fred, I came to your house, and we sat and had a talk, and I told you, I said, now, come on, Fred, get up and show 'em what you're made of. And you did, pal. And you proved me right, and you proved all them wrong. Freddie, it takes a big man to do that. You're a star, you, Fred. Have a nice time tonight. See you, Fred.
Thank you, Bobby Ball in Brazil. Freddie, your phenomenal rise to the top, to a point where you were being described as the highest paid performer in Britain, was unknown to you then, keenly watched by a young comedian then struggling for recognition. There were few more disappointed when your career fell apart, and few more delighted to see you so successfully put it all back together again.
I regard Freddie Starr as not only a splendid bloke, but one of the funniest men in the business.
That's the opinion of an expert, because he too is now a king of comedy. Who else but Billy Connolly? Billy, oddly enough, you and Freddie got together for the first time, what's some 6 months ago over lunch?
Oh, I've known him for at least 20 minutes, yeah. Years and years I wanted to meet him, you know. And I was always kind of scared that he would rear up at me, you know, and embarrass me or something. But then we did a benefit for the Shadows were together for 56 years or something. That's right. 25 years, and we met. And we sort of circled like dogs for a minute or two. Then I put my hand out to shake his hand, and he tore a lump off my cheek and ate it. He takes a bit off your cheek and he says, "Ah, my boy." But I did the speech as I was booked to do, and then I saw him in the audience, and I was supposed to do an auction, those boring kind of auction bits. And I got him up to help me, and he's an expert at that kind of thing. And it was lovely watching people at the Shadows all waiting for us to be dirty. You know? And we didn't do it, and I was smashing. You're a good lad. Can I sit down?
Yes, thank you, Billy Connolly. Well, Freddie, quite something for a comedy character to have Billy Connolly as a fan. But your greatest fans, more than fans, are your family. And to complete that loving fan club, your 3-year-old son, Jody. Freddie, as we close, I'd like to take you right back to the very beginning of your career, when you were a little-known comedy performer appearing in clubs in the north of England. There, you occasionally cross paths and become pals with a young singer already rapidly becoming famous, and he was soon to become internationally famous as he recorded a string of mammoth hits, starting with...
Please release me, let me go.
Yes, that pal has lived and worked in America for 15 years now, but for you, he's here tonight, Engelbert Humperdinck. Engelbert, your memory of the early days of Freddie's career.
Vivid. I must tell you, but we first met in theatrical digs.
That's right.
In Leeds, and the lady that had the house gave me the best room in the house, which really made Freddie very mad.
He always got the best treatment.
Oh, you see, and the lady bought this little dog, right? This little dog that used to bite his feet, and she called it Engelbert.
Engelbert, yeah.
And that drove him crazy. Even more.
I used to kick him.
And he looked at me one day and he says, one of these days, I'm going to be in the best room, and you're going to be in that bloody box room that I'm in. Jokes aside, Freddie, I think, is one of the geniuses of our business. And I think it is now time for him to share his talent with the rest of the world. I really do.
Freddie Starr, once again a star. This is your life.
This is Your Life, and just a few paces from here is the Theatre Royal Windsor, where I'm hoping to surprise one of Britain's most popular comedy actresses, who is currently celebrating 40 years in show business and films. Tonight she's starring in Music Hall, displaying her manifold talents for the multitude. The show is about to come to a close, and I'm going to join the final moments, aided and abetted by the Master of Ceremonies. So I'm due on stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is far from over because I would now ask you to welcome an extraordinary eclectic delineator of diverse delights with scintillating surprises. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Michael Aspel!
May I congratulate you all on this cornucopia of comedy, and to add, if I may, that I am indeed here to say tonight, Barbara Windsor, this is...
Darling, you can't do my life.
Well...
So naughty. Well, I just don't know what to say. Me speechless. I can't believe it's a joke. How can you do my life, Michael? There's so many naughty bits, isn't there?
Well, I know the naughty bits, but they don't, so we'll keep those quiet.
I'm sure everybody says, I just wish my mum was here. She always used to say, they've never done your life, Babs. And I just thank you,
Well,
thank you.
she'll be watching. We'll take you away to slip into something a little less comfortable.
God, I don't know what have I got here? What have I got here? I don't know. I'll have to...
Well, hold my arm, and we'll exit the way I came, and we'll tell the story. Right here.
And you've
Thank
seen
you.
it all.
Thanks for that. We all enjoyed that. Well, Barbara, you are not the only one working tonight. The young chef you married 6 years ago in Jamaica has been busy at the pub restaurant you own together, the Plough Inn and Windsor restaurant at Amersham in Buckinghamshire.
Hello, Barbara. You always said they'd never catch you, but I told you they would one day. It's business as usual here, but everyone wanted to say have a wonderful evening, including Bonnie.
He's not really at the Plough, of course. He's done the washing up and he's rushed out to join us. Stephen.
Oh, great. I love you. Firstly, I said, get the Irish. Got the shoes, got the tights. Thank you, darling, thank you. It was all there. Oh, I panicked so much, I did.
No, we look after our subjects.
Thank you.
Now, Barbara, your courtship attracted a fair amount of interest in the press, didn't it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, too young, little toy boy and corner cafe chef and all that, wasn't it? You know, apart from you-know-what. Well, we won't mention that. That will be the surprise guest at the end, will it?
I like to live dangerously, but not that dangerously. No. Well, Barbara Windsor, this is your life, and you were born in the East End, Angela Street, Shoreditch, just before the war, and christened Barbara Ann Deeks. Yeah. That's the lovely you, aged 2, just managing to keep still, with your parents, John and Rose, making sure that you do. Yeah. When your father was called up for the army, you moved with your mother to her parents in nearby Stoke Newington. Yeah. But your grandfather, Charles, was in the business and playing the local clubs, billed as the versatile comedian. Yeah. He encouraged you to go to dancing classes with Madame Behenna and her juvenile jollities, and you go to Church Street School. But age 13, the lure of show business gets you, and you transfer to the Ada Foster School at Golders Green Hippodrome.
To get rid of my Cockney accent. Yes.
Worked very well, didn't it? You're signed up for your first ever professional stage production, Love from Judy. Someone else in that 1952 show would like a word, June Whitfield.
Oh, June.
Hi, Barbara. Do you remember when we were in the musical Love from Judy at the Savile Theatre with Jean Carson? It was quite a few years ago, and it was about a young girl growing up in an orphanage. Well, the show ran for, well, quite a long time in London, and one by one, the orphans had to be replaced because they grew too tall or too curvy. But you stayed neat and petite, and you completed the whole run. Well, a very short time afterwards, I saw you in Cabaret, and I was amazed to see that Babsid's boobs had blossomed overnight. I couldn't understand it, and I asked you how on earth it had happened. And you said, oh, yeah, well, I used to bind them up, didn't I? Congratulations, Barbara. Have a wonderful evening, and carry on carrying on.
Oh,
cheers.
That's lovely.
Thank you, June Whitfield. Now, June, apart from saying that you became instantly outstanding, mentioned the name of another girl who went on to become a big TV star in America. That's where she has to be tonight, rehearsing for a new musical, but she's on the line now, Jeannie Carson.
Oh, did you?
Hello, Barbara. It's been a long time since we worked together in Love from Judy. You played one of the orphans, remember? Well, the play was set in an orphanage in 1908. One of my fondest memories of you is seeing that cherubic little face of yours looking up at me during the first song in the show. Well, as you know, the show ran for 2 years. Well, I've always been very, very happy for your success, and I send my love to you.
Thanks to Jeannie Carson in New York.
Yeah, good to hear from you. Right.
Well, Barbara, you may have stuck at 4'10", but 38, 17, 35, and a good singing voice gets you into cabaret at London's famous Winston's nightclub.
Thanks for the singing
How dare you
voice.
talk to my friend like that? One more word from you, mate, and you get a bunch of fives.
With international pianist Wayne King, your good friend Danny LaRue.
Are they here? But they're working. You're in Nottingham. Are you in Nottingham? Oh, Dan, I thought you were in Nottingham. Oh, my... Oh, no. That's my lodger. Oh, look. Oh, great.
Would you kindly explain?
Explain. Well, you see, she was almost as pretty then as she is now. And of course, I was a big bird, and 6'2" with the Bristols and everything. And we used to have the motor shows and the farmer shows. And the one fella only said, oh, I think she's bloody marvellous. He said, look at her, look at those. Whoa. I said, one more word from you, mate, and you'll get a bunch of fives. Now, you've got to remember, I'm dressed as a...
Tart. A tart.
And he said, and what can you do? He said, and what can you do dressed like that? And I said this.
Oh.
Whack! And he went flying over the table.
did.
So I just want to prove that under those Bristols, there's a man somewhere.
Yeah, I'll say there is.
Thank you, Danny LaRue.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right, good. Oh, there we go. He's staying with me at the moment. Oh, that's great.
You joined the renowned theatre company of Joan Littlewood at Stratford East in 1960. As Barbara Windsor, you took your name from your Auntie Dolly's family, not the other lot. Okay. You register your first big solo success in Things Ain't What They Used to Be, which became the film Sparrows Can't Sing.
Yeah.
Ain't it a shame? Kisses can't fly. There'd be no more kisses goodbye. But all I can do is lie here and sigh and cry and cry and cry.
Well, the man who wrote that and a lot more is on holiday in Crete tonight, but he'll never forget your performance, Lionel Bart.
I've got to say that I'm happy to be part of your life, and I'm happy to have you as part of mine. You've always been there for me, fair weather and foul. And I'll never forget you on the very first night of Things Ain't What They Used to Be in 1959 at Stratford East. You stopped the bloody show on the opening there. I mean, it was quite incredible. And you've always blown me away ever since then. Thanks for being around, babes.
Good. Thanks, Lionel.
Thank you, Lionel Bart. Another hit follows rapidly and gets you from Stratford East to Broadway.
He'd have to start it off, he get a choice and then he'd get the horse off. He's had about it, something and he'd get the horse in, get him in the car.
Yes, great show, great performer, Victor Spinetti.
Oh, I'm going to stay with him at Christmas. Yeah. Oh, hello, darling. Oh, thank you for coming. Oh, it's great. I'm so upset. It's terrific. Oh, we had a smashing time on Broadway,
We really did, we really did.
She was the new blonde bombshell,
She
of course.
was the hit, the toast of New York. But the thing about you, my darling, is this. No, really, is that apart from being a wonderful performer and a brilliant actress, is you're very loyal and supportive to your friends. You really will fight for them. And you did that for me one night in Philadelphia. Do you remember? It was the second night of the performance, and we'd just done Act One. And we on the stage, we just finished Act One, and suddenly Joan Littlewood, this very tough director, came running on the stage, rushed up.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry. Yeah, I remember this.
Remember?
Yeah.
And she rushed on stage and she said to me, "You're fired," right? She said, "Go on, get out of the... Jerry, give him his ticket, send him home, you're fired." And Barbara burst into tears, and Joan said, "If he's upset you, my darling." And Barbara said, "No. He's not upset me. You've upset me. How dare you come on the stage and talk to an actor when we've got the second half to do?" And she said to this really tough woman, "Go back now." And then through her tears and said, "All right, darling." Babs, I wouldn't have missed this for the world.
But you're wonderful. I have such good
Lovely to
friends.
see you.
You're
Shut
all
up.
good friends.
Yeah,
They're
get up.
lovely friends. Well, you know what actors are like.
Well, as you know, Barbara, and I'm sure you're relieved to know, that legendary lady of Stratford East these days lives in France.
I know.
But she's on the line for you now.
I should all right.
Joan Littlewood.
Hi, Babs.
Hello,
Little
darling.
star.
Oh.
I bet you're twinkling tonight. Now, I want you to remember that you're one of the best actresses in England. And if they cast you as a cheeky blonde, it's your own fault. My love always, my bird.
Thank you, Joan Littlewood. Now, Barbara, when you made your very first Carry On film in 1964, you might not have guessed they would be so popular they'd still be carrying on today. You've appeared in 9 of them.
I can't see any sign of bruising, can you, Doctor?
Oh, no, you see, I fell on my backside. I haven't got anything in front.
No, I wouldn't say that. It's getting chilly in here. Shall we go into the summer house and warm up a bit?
Oh, no. I've heard what happens to girls who go into summer houses with men.
Good, that should save a bit of time.
Oh, but I mustn't. I promised my mother I'd be a good bet.
You're the best bet I've seen in years, really.
Madge.
And in.
God,
And in. And in. And both arms split. Now really, let's see those chests come out.
Oh.
And fling. And in. And fling. And in. And fling. Matron, take them away.
Well, there was more to that last famous scene than met the eye.
Remember, Barbara, it was midwinter and very muddy.
He directed you in every one of those movies, Gerald Thomas.
Oh, and I'm not in the new one. I can't bear it. Gerald, hello, darling. Thank you for coming, sweetie. I can't bear I'm not in the new movie, you know. It's a disgrace.
You were.
Well, let's talk about the old one. It wasn't perfect bikini weather, obviously.
By no means, no.
I said to you, oh, my feet are sinking into the mud, and you said, I'm not employing you for your feet.
That's right.
Yes, I know. Treated like a load of... We were.
It was a disgrace.
But we loved it, yeah.
I'll never forget the time when you were in the middle of a field of mud with 200 hippies, and you had a throat mic on and you forgot all about it. And then next day in rushes, loud and clear out of this very pretty little face, came that Jerry Thomas. He treats us like a load of
can't say that, dear.
Muck.
No, I know.
She meant it kindly. Thank you, Gerald Thomas.
Thank you, Gerald. How's Barbara, all right? Yeah.
But it's not been professional success all along the way, as one of your most fervent admirers now recalls, impresario Lord Delfont.
Oh.
Hello, Barbara. Remember when we opened the Twang at the Palace, Manchester? You had to say the line, "I don't know what's going on here." And all the audience shouted back, "Neither do we." Remember how well you took it. You were really excellent in the show. And since then, of course, you've had some wonderful successes. All the very best to you, Barbara. You're a wonderful person.
Thank you, Lord Delfont.
Oh, that's lovely. I'm
1970, in a new West End musical, More Than Compensates, it was called Sing a Rude Song.
I always only have it if you fancy it. If you fancy it, that's understood. And suppose it makes you fat, oh, don't worry over that. 'Cause a little what you fancy does you good.
And from that hit show, your co-star, Dennis Quilley.
Oh, Dennis, he was wonderful. I loved it. Dennis! Oh, my God, you were... Oh, Dennis, how lovely to see you. I used to have lots of...
So, Dennis, she was Murray Lloyd and you were her husband, Alec Hurley.
That's right, yeah. But in fact, we'd never met before we did that show. And we'd come to it from different areas of showbiz. And we kind of... we circled around each other rather warily for a day or two until we discovered quite quickly that we were actually rather fond of each other.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah. But more important than that, she had quiet.
Yes,
more important than that, she had a part here which was rather different from what she used to call her, I'll change the words a little, her bust and bottom show. She had not only to sing a dozen rather difficult and different numbers, but she also had to act the role of the immortal Murray Lloyd, and this was a challenge which, you won't mind me saying, which she found quite daunting. But she was not daunted. She rose to this challenge with great professionalism and great skill and great charm and gave a great performance. I think you'll agree, perhaps the best performance you ever gave in your life.
I always think of that one.
Yeah,
Yes.
listen, they want you to sing, if I start a number, will you join in?
Which one?
When I take my morning promenade, quite a fashion card on the promenade. Now I don't mind nice boys staring hard, if it satisfies their desire. If you think my dress is a little bit,
that's it,
just a little bit,
but not too much of it. If I think my shirt's just a little bit, that's the little bit the boys admire.
Good girl, well done. You remember
Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis Quilley.
See, I was so lucky I had such great leading men. They were just, all of them great.
Obviously a happy show, and the success of that show sees you expanding your career in the 70s in the Threepenny Opera at the Piccadilly Theatre and in Twelfth Night at Chichester.
Yeah.
You survived 2 serious car crashes and you divorced your first husband, Ronnie Knight. The 80s see you rebuilding your career in the only way you know, with a lot of laughs. This time doing a summer season of the farce The Mating Game.
Yes.
And what a game you played when we went to the opening night of the opposition show in Scarborough.
Your good mate, Jack Smethurst.
Oh, Jack. I was talking about you yesterday. I heard all about the advert and so stop. And you look marvellous. Doing your Shakespeare bit.
I know, doing all about the bottle now.
Jack, tell us what she got up to.
Can you remember the incident we went to the Cannon and Ball show one night? We went to their first night. And it was a marvellous. It illustrated to me how well-loved and, you know, truly well-loved by the general public Barbara really is. Because we went backstage, have a drink with the manager, do you remember?
Yeah.
And we get a bit near 8 o'clock, it's getting a bit late, and I kept saying, come on, Babs, let's get in. He said, hang on a minute, darling, finish your drink, etc., etc. Eventually, about 3 minutes to 8, we went into the theatre. And I've got to say, the Futurist, you don't actually enter the theatre from the back of the hall. You come in right next to the stage. And you'd made the papers a lot that year, do you remember?
Yeah.
And she walked through the door with me, and I've got to tell you, 1,000 people or 1,500 people stood up, cheered, do you remember?
I loved it.
You loved it? I thought it was for me, or Charlie Vance, but it's for you, actually. As a matter of interest, Not only are you a star, a true professional, you're a very, very dear friend, and I'm proud to be here tonight.
Oh, another wonderful leading man.
Thank you, Jack Smithers. Well, it was back to your first love, musicals, last year in a tour of Guys and Dolls as Adelaide. You needed someone to play Nathan Detroit, your reluctant fiancé.
And Barbara, I was very reluctant when you asked me.
But Nathan, he became Gareth Hunt.
No, I can't go with Gareth. No, I can't go with you. Look at these leading men. I love you. You never wear the whistle. Look, you look really sharp.
Very smart. Why were you so reluctant?
Well, I got a phone call from Babs one day. She said, here, she said, how would you like to play Nathan Detroit? I'm doing Guys and Dolls. So I said, well, Babs, I said, I can't actually dance. She said, Nathan don't dance, he don't dance. He stands here, clicking his fingers, looking, you know, casual and good. So anyway, I said, all right, OK. So I sign on, we're down in Plymouth. And when we get into the rehearsal rooms, and the American choreographer says, OK, everybody, grab your tap shoes. And I thought, it's a wind-up, it's a wind-up. No, they're going to tell me in a minute. It's a wind-up. And that taps... and she was looking at me, and I went like... Anyway, next minute, there's two blokes lift me up on top of their shoulders like this, and the music starts. And she looks at me like this. Oh, dear. But it was great working with her. We had such fun and such laughs.
We did have a laugh, didn't we?
And working with you and working in the musical Guys and Dolls has taught me one thing. That I still can't dance.
Thanks, Gareth. Oh, lovely. Thank you. Look, what a lineup. Oh, great.
These three leading men grinning like fools here. Yeah.
Well, because they've worked with me, haven't they? I make them very happy, don't I, Marshall?
Well, the night is young now. In 40 years in the business, Barbara, you've carried on making friends, especially in Panto and among the Water Rats and Lady Rattlings. And tonight they're here for the walk down for you. A selection of your closest friends. Jack Douglas.
Oh, Jack. Hello, lovely.
Ronnie Hilton.
Ronnie! I listen to you all the time on your
John
radio.
Inman.
Our kid. Where's my John?
Anna Carroll. Davy Kay.
David.
Rosemary. Tony Palmer. King Rat's Bert Whedon. Anne Paul and Debbie Daniels. Barbara Windsor.
Michael, bless you. Thank you so much.
And Michael Aspel will be presenting another Red Book of Surprises next Wednesday at the same time.